Hey everybody, welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. Today we're going to be talking about the N20 engine. This is going to be a real quick video. It's not going to be super long. I am doing an oil change on this today, and I'm going to be talking about what oil we're going to be changing over to, both on this car and the race cars, why, and what to look out for when you're buying an N20. This isn't going to be like a full comprehensive buying guide on the N20. It's just kind of like my experience, some of the research I've done, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Before we get into today's content, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like and enjoy this type of content. Also make sure to follow us on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports. We do giveaways. If you're following us on there, we pull from our follow list. So all you have to be doing is following and you'll be entered in to win every single one of them. We are currently changing over this car to 540. Now the car originally I think calls for 020, and that's, I'm sorry, that's too thin. And the reason they're doing that is because they're shooting for gas mileage. And what they're doing is they put a very thin, that's not as protective as some of these thicker oils, to try to get that gas mileage. The less engine friction resistance that the car produces, the more gas mileage you get. My dad has a 2020 1500 Dodge Ram, and it is the 5.7, and it's calling for 020, the same as this car. And to me, it's too thin. And right now in the car, we've got 530, which is both cold and up to temperature weight, even heavier than what it calls for, but that was still in the recommendation list. If I remember right, it's 020, 520, 030, and 530. I think we're all in the recommendation list. I've been talking to some people, going and doing some research. This would be information from people like RevMatch, who's a very reputable tuner, and I'll have all of his information linked in the description below if you're looking at getting your car tuned. Check with him first to see if he does your make and model. This car right here has timing chain issues. Not this specific one, but the N20s tend to have timing chain issues. To keep your car from having these issues, it's always better to run a little bit heavier weight of oil. In fact, sometimes it's even better to do a heavier weight and add some like a Lucas additive or something like that to make it even thicker. Where this car, even though I live somewhere where it's really snowy for about half the year, this car is parked inside, so it's room temperature-ish in the garage, even during winter. And during the summer, it's warm, so it's never really like parked outside. We're never doing like a negative 15-degree cold start. It's almost always somewhere where it's temperature controlled or really hot, like summertime. Obviously, you know, we're getting up into the 100 degrees or so right now, and I just think that it's time to go to 540. The race cars are going to get 540 as well. I'm not talking about what brand we're going to be doing because we are looking into a couple different sponsors right now, so I don't want to drop anything prematurely before that's been set up and finalized, but I am going to be changing this over to 540. Now, should you be scared of the N20s because of the timing chain issues? Yes and no. I think it's a little bit overblown. For every one that has issues, there's 250 of them that don't. And you'll hear, you know, basically the squeaky wheel gets the grease. You'll hear all these horror stories online because those are the people posting about it. The people that just had a nice, you know, 4-cylinder BMW and ran it for 50 or 60,000 miles and then sold it, whether it's from new to 60,000 miles or from 60 to 120 and never had any issues, they're not going to go online and post. A lot of it's actually overblown. We've had this one inspected and it looks really good, real nice and tight. And the tensioner, the actual like plastic bits in there haven't started to disintegrate or anything like that. And I think that's mostly due to the fact that this isn't like, we're not trying to race it or anything like that. It's just a daily driver. The oil changes have been done in the correct intervals in both time and mileage. And so this one's actually really healthy. But at the same time, if you're looking at buying one of these cars, spend an extra couple months and just save up and get the straight six. They're not that much more. A car like this, in this mileage, this has 102 on it. You can go get a straight six with the N55, I believe, is still in these cars, for $2,000–$3,000 more than this. This car's worth low teens-ish, and the straight six is gonna be like a $15,000 car. So just go spend an extra $2,000 or $4,000 and go and buy the bigger engine. First thing you're gonna wanna do is tune it and get more power out of it, and the straight sixes is gonna be 2 or 3 steps ahead of this, just from the get-go. So anyways, just kind of want to talk about my experiences. We've owned the car from about mid 80,000 mile range up until, like I said, I think it's at like 102 or 103. We haven't had any problems. The chain looks healthy, and we've heard stories of people that have the chains and they're super loose and they're slapping around and they'll run for way longer than they should. We've also had people where they're running the car and all of a sudden it goes from running really nice to running rough and dead with a engine that needs to be replaced within 10 minutes. So you get both ends of the spectrum. If you're gonna buy one of these cars, go get the straight six. If you already own one, relax. Make sure you're running the correct weight oil. Keep an eye on your timing chain. And if this one ever starts having issues, I'm gonna be doing a video actually going through and doing the timing chain. You can do them if you're willing to do them yourself. You can do them for anywhere between $600 to $1,000, depending on what else you want to change while you're in there. You got a whole bunch of stuff to take apart, so there's a whole bunch of preventive maintenance, gaskets and things like that that you can replace while you're in there. And that's what we'd be doing when or if this ever starts giving us issues. Thanks everybody so much for watching. This is a quick video, just kind of wanted to go over our experience, and I appreciate everybody so much for watching. We are going to be doing a little bit more in-depth video when we go to do the oil changes on the 2 race cars, talking about why we're going to 540 and actually showing some of that process there. We really appreciate you for watching. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video.
Bam!